Available for CX and UX consulting, projects, and training. Contact us for a free consultation.
Hi everybody, we're live, and I remembered to turn on my mic and everything. This is Debbie Levitt from Delta CX, and thanks for joining. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, 2020, and we are going to be doing our live CX and UX education brainstorming today. So we don't have a typical podcast or a typical guest. The guest is you, and you're going to help us brainstorm some fresh ideas for where UX education could and should go. This is just for fun. This is just an exercise. This is not for anybody in particular. This is public. Anybody is welcome to use the ideas that people come up with. I don't own them. So since we just have a few people joining right now, I'm going to spend a few minutes just making some general announcements to give people some time to join, because I know we had almost 100 people RSVPing on LinkedIn, and so I want to make sure that we get give some people a few minutes to join. So let me just start by saying hi, and if I'm new to you, I'm Debbie Levitt. You can please follow me on LinkedIn, and I've been doing the UX thing for about 25 years, and mostly right now I run my own agency, which is also called Delta CX, and please subscribe on YouTube. I've got a graphic for that. Oh, my voice activation worked today. That was nice. I didn't have to press the button. So please subscribe. And over on YouTube, I'm very proud to now have over 600 subscribers, and I hope you'll join too. Obviously, no cost, and I usually go live 3 times a week, 2 with podcasts and 1 with office hours Ask Me Anything, which is every Tuesday. So if you ever have any questions and you want my opinion is free. Please join on Tuesdays. Everything is at 6:30 p.m. Italy time, same as right now. Hello, Denise. So just a couple of announcements before we start, just to give people some time to join. Let me tell you about some of the podcasts that we have coming up. Let's see. This is it for this week. Monday, we'll be doing the cost of poor quality, which is a great way for us to try to push our companies and workplaces to invest more in UX, because what poor quality is costing them is certainly is more than they would be investing in us. So cost of poor quality, it's a cool paradigm. I dig it. Let's see, Tuesday, office hours. Thursday, we'll be doing how to pick a mentor and what criteria should you look for, with special guest Kieran Robinson. Then Monday, July 27th, we've got a panel of 4 people joining who are going to talk about what do you need to be a UX junior. Let's see, Wednesday the 29th, we might have a boot camper on who wanted to talk about a negative experience with a boot camp, still making sure that's going to happen. August the 3rd, we're going to talk about should design be empathic or not empathic, because there's pros and cons there. Tuesday, August 4th, office hours. Wednesday, August 5th, that's a silly one. Let me get to the good stuff. The week of Monday, August 10th is really exciting. We're going to be talking on Monday the 10th about applying critical thinking and technique to UX research with the wonderful Michelle Ronson from Curiosity Tank. Tuesday the 11th, office hours. Wednesday the 12th, we're going to have one of our favorite guests, Dr. Seth Finkel, psychologist, but not in UX. He's going to be talking about recognizing gaslighting and when you're being set up to fail. So he usually comes on when we want to talk about general problems at work and how to deal with them. Thursday the 13th, we have a new guest, very excited. Dr. Ruth Diaz is going to come talk about how to improve your resilience. Resilience is so important to working in UX, and we all need a little bit more. That means we had to push Finding Your True Purpose to September. So remark your calendars on that one. So just a little idea of what I tend to do when I'm streaming. I want to see if we can get some more people joining before we start. We've got 12 on LinkedIn and 7 in YouTube. This is great. I promised myself when 20 people showed up, we'd get started, and that's probably close enough. Monique says, oh, upcoming talks sound great. Looking forward. Me too. This is always fun and exciting. So we're going to be doing a mural board today. and this is going to be a pretty structured thing that I'm going to be facilitating. So I ask that people not jump ahead on the mural board and to stick with me. If you're not looking at the mural board, you can watch the stream. I'm going to share my screen. But if you're in the mural board, then you'll be there and you'll hear me. So I can probably take this off. And of course, if Maggie were here, she would want me to set off the confetti. So we're going to be looking at UX education and how it can be made better. Now's not the time necessarily for us to talk about, oh, but this is good and this is good. Sometimes people say that meaning me, Debbie, I should be more positive about the bad UX education that's out there. And it struck me a little bit strangely, but I don't know if you guys, how into YouTube you are, but I watch a lot of YouTube, and just a few people I follow. Have you ever seen Lock-Picking Lawyer? He's amazing. He is a lawyer. He picks locks. And pretty much every day he picks a lock and tells you why this lock is really not good for pretty much anything. And I'm starting to feel a little bit like that with UX education. But yet no one ever tells him he needs to be more positive about locks. Usually they're thanking him for some critical thinking about locks and how they're not as secure as they promise. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to invite everybody to the mural board. And before you get to the mural board, let me share my screen first and just warm you up a little bit for what's there. So I've got to switch over to Deb's screen. Okay, so you should see my screen here, and you should see the chat room on the right, which will combine LinkedIn and YouTube comments. So, and this is going to be the link. So let me show you quickly what's going on here. We're going to be filling out different sections in order. Please don't jump ahead. And the color coding is going to be important. So I want to make sure that as people put stuff on the board, we get a sense of where they're coming from, even if we don't know who you are, because I'm going to give you a link that makes everything anonymous. So use yellow if this is something you're guessing, assuming, or hypothesizing, something you don't really know for fact, but you imagine it could be true. That way, when we see these things in yellow, we know that there's something that we need to research more, or validate, or invalidate, or improve upon. Use blue if this happened to you, or it's true for you, or you know from firsthand experience. And that way, we'll know that this is real for you, and that's a good color to use for that. If this didn't happen to you, but you've spoken to people and you know that it's true for them from what they said, so it's a little bit more secondary, but it's still a believable source, not I read it on an article, or you spoke to those people and you know this thing from those people. Please use black. And again, that way we can just differentiate using the colors, and I tried to pick colorblind friendly colors. So that way we can differentiate between what people are posting that's true for them and something they've experienced, something they guess or think about, and something that didn't happen to them, but they heard from a reliable source. They spoke to one or more people directly, and they feel that this is true, at least for those people. So please use the color codings. Another thing you'll see on the board is way off to the right, there's a box that says your anonymous animal and real name and email. So this is optional. Right now we already have anonymous gorilla here, and it says Kirsten, so it's good to see you, Kirsten, but I know not everybody is going to include a real name. You don't have to put in your real name. Some people just don't want to be associated with some of the negative experiences that they've had or the ideas they want to put out there. So if that's you, you're welcome to be completely anonymous, and we'll just know you by your animal and we won't know who you were. But if you'd like me to know who you were, just put a little sticky note in this box and say, anonymous gorilla was Kirsten. And again, email is tough. I should probably change that. Maybe like your how we can find you on LinkedIn or something like that, because email would be not good for GDPR. And if Stephanie were here, she'd kill me. So maybe like which animal you were, your real name, and your LinkedIn. Totally optional, totally optional. So let me zoom out and show you what we're going to do, and I'll also invite everybody to the board. And the way to get to the board is, let's slide this out. is deltacx.link, which is my URL shortening service, /mural. And that should redirect you here, entering as an anonymous visitor. And then, so let me show you what's on the board and what we're going to do in order. And again, I'm asking that people please not jump ahead and please don't put anything on the board just yet. So we're going to look at, from the perspective, when we think about UX and CX education, there's multiple perspectives to consider. We can't just consider the students and the graduates. So each of these 4 boxes, and there's 4 boxes in each of my 4 areas, so we're going to be looking from different angles. If you feel like you don't know anything about that angle, you don't have to put anything in. This isn't fill boxes or I pick on you. So first we're going to look at needs and tasks, and here are the 4 angles we're looking at. Students and graduates. So what are their needs and tasks in getting education? Schools and programs. What do schools and programs need, or what's their tasks? Down here is companies and employers. So people who want to hire these students and graduates, what are their needs? What tasks are they trying to accomplish? And of course, the CX and UX profession or practice or industry at large. What are our needs? And so you're going to see each of these same 4 groups in 4 areas. And again, we're going to go in order. Please don't jump ahead. I'm trying to do this in a bit of a structured way and hope you'll all go with it. So we're going to start with needs and tasks. Then we'll talk about problems, frustrations, and obstacles. Then we'll talk about if there's anything positive we've learned about other industries graduates, other industries schools, other industries when employers go to employ other types of roles. What's going right there that we could maybe learn from? And again, anything for our own profession. And finally, we'll put in some ideas. So again, please don't jump ahead, even though I know you might want to. I kind of want to walk us through some of these needs and tasks first, so we're really focused on what are people trying to accomplish by getting education. Then we'll be looking at problems. So I'm going to zoom in just to show you. I put in a couple of sample notes, even though they're real to me. And I'll show you again what I put in and why I use different colors. So if you're just joining, notice at the top of the page, the colors are a code. So everything is color coded. Make sure you are following the color code. So what I put here is, I'll zoom in a little bit more, is for students and grads needs or tasks, so yellow is assume, yellow is I think I know, but I'm assuming. Grads might like to learn UX with science and technique and not just fill in templates. Okay, I'm guessing that. I don't know that for sure. But then in black, I put this one because I have interviewed multiple people and I know, even though it didn't happen to me, so if it happened to me, it would be blue. But I know from speaking to multiple people that grads want to be job ready and qualified after a program. That is their need and their task. So remember, stay focused on needs and tasks. I think I just saw Plexus is the rabbit. Hello, Plexus. So again, now what do schools and programs need? Well, I'm just guessing, but I think they want to attract and graduate as many students as possible because they'd like to have money and revenue. I can't necessarily prove that, but that is my assumption. So remember, assumptions are yellow. Now let's look at companies and employers. What are their needs right now? And I'm going to give you a chance to add to this board as soon as I'm done explaining. I assume that companies might want to save money and go cheap by hiring more juniors, but I don't know. I could be wrong. We would need more research to validate that. So anything you're not totally sure about, but you think it could be true, that's yellow. Here's one in black because I have spoken to multiple people and I have heard this over and over, so this goes in black. Qualified, and they need qualified entry-level people who can hit the ground running with real work. And finally, what does our profession need? Our industry, our practice. And so I said that we need, and I put these in blue because these are things that are very true for me. So remember, this is completely true and honest for me. Our profession needs strong associates or juniors who are a good fit to the profession and will be awesome seniors in 5 years. What else does our profession need? Well, we want people who are doing CX and UX work with science, technique, depth, and quality, so we're more respected and understood. So again, that's my experience of these things. Yours may be different. And so I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to remind everybody, I know the URL's still at the bottom of the screen. Okay, very good. So people can join whenever they like. And I'm going to go over and type that the color. So you're watching the sausage being made here, my friends. Note color coding at top of board. Let's see. Okay, that looks all right. That's a little junky looking. Let's do a quick fix to that. Hope you're all enjoying my software for how I run the show. Yes, no, maybe. Did I spell board correctly? Okay, let's run with that. Oh, forehead. Yes, here I am. Okay, hold on. Thank you, Bill. Let me quickly adjust where I am in the scheme of things. Let's see. Oop, wrong direction. That's too high. How's this? Am I floating in space? Okay, I'm back. Thank you, Bill. I hadn't noticed I had Z-axis apostrophe S right over my own head. So let's get started. What I want everybody to do is just to focus on the needs and tasks. Please don't fill out the other stuff yet. Just take your time and I'll show you how you do it. Basically, if you hit text and pick whether you want yellow for a guess or assumption, blue for this is true for me, or black for this is not true for me, but I know it's true for other people. And when you click on that, you'll see a sticky note appear on the screen. You can start typing something, and then when you're done and you move it into place, it's going to give you a place to snap it into place. So that's the way that I usually do it, and I'm not going to add too much here. I want you guys to fill this in. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm available to answer any questions. If you guys have questions, maybe go back to LinkedIn and go back to the YouTube chat so we can see the questions here. But all questions are welcome. And I'm just going to set a 10-minute timer, even though we might use less than 10 minutes if I find people are kind of done, we'll move on. But just in case, let's use a 10-minute timer and gives people some time to fill this out. So I'm going to re-explain this for people who are joining late, but I'm glad that we already have something from what looks like Ram. Louis is our Ram. And again, if you'd like to join, you can be anonymous. You don't have to put your real name in. You can put hello, you can put whatever. It's totally optional to let me know who you are. Like visiting Ram says Tiger Girl, so I don't totally know who that is. So you're welcome to be anonymous, or you're welcome to put a real name in. On the far right of the board, if you want to tell me who you are, you can, because that says visiting bear is cat, but cat who? I don't know. So you can put that on there if you'd like. So just to repeat what's happening now for people who joined late, we've got color coding here. So yellow is, I think this is true, but it would really be important for us to do more research and check if this is true. Blue is for, no, this is real, this happened to me. And any shade of blue is fine. Any shade of yellow is fine. I'm not going to get picky about the shades. Plexus, I know you're Plexus. You're killing me. Hi, Duck Danny. So blue is something that I know this is true because it happened to me, or I felt this way, or I need this. And black is, well, it's not true for me, but I've spoken to people and I know it's true for them. And so, you know, it's somewhere between happened to me and total guess. So we're just going to let everybody slide some stuff up there. And again, I'm giving you guys 10 minutes to do this. Then there's 3 other sections on the board. And what we'll do is we'll take a look. As a facilitator, I'll take a look at all of the needs and tasks that people wrote so we can get into our heads what we believe is happening for different angles of education. And then we'll move on to the next part of the board. So everybody keep going. Tell us what students, and don't forget to move down the board as well to what you believe schools and programs need, to what companies employers need, and to what our profession needs related to education. So go, 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 everybody. I'm just going to let you go. I'm not going to play any music so that I don't get in copyright trouble with YouTube. So we've got 11 people on LinkedIn and 10 on YouTube. Welcome, everybody. And it looks like there's 14 of us in the board. Welcome, Lobster. Mural also told me not to have more than 30 people. I really hope we end up with more than 30 and we push the limits of Mural. This is a title. Again, for those of you new to Mural, the best way to do it is to click this sticky note picture up in the top left. You'll see the screen slide out, and then please pick yellow, blue, or black based on what's cooking, based on our color coding up here. And then, of course, you can slide it up to where it needs to go. Don't worry if the text is really, really small. I will be able to zoom in and read it, so you don't have to worry about changing your font size. Sea turtle. I'll fix that. So you don't have to worry about font size. You don't have to worry about the size of the box. I can always zoom in really close and I'll be able to read it even if there's very small text. Thanks again to Bill for letting me know I was a floating forehead. I need this type of feedback. Thank you, Bill. I hope you're doing well with your work and everything. Hopefully this looks a little better. And hopefully these boxes will grow as you try to add more. So if there's, fill these out. I mean, again, this is a brainstorming session. All thoughts and ideas are absolutely welcome. I'm absolutely not going to pick on anybody. I'm not going to disagree with anybody. I just want to hear what's on everybody's mind. And ultimately, hopefully by the end of this, hopefully you guys can stay. This might be about an hour session. Hopefully you can stay the full hour and we'll get to the ideas section. So we've got needs, problems, things we're influenced by from other industries, and finally, ideas for UX education. Good job, Kirsten. I love all these animals that Mural has. It just makes me so happy. Hello, Amy. Let's see, who else do I have? I'll mouse over some of the names and see who we've got. Amy. B, I don't know who B is. Ankita, good to see you. Visiting Rhino, hello Rhino. Louie is the ram. We've got two rams. We have fuchsia ram and indigo ram. So hi tiger girl. Sea turtle. Plexus is the rabbit. Cat is a bear. And Duck Danny, who really looks, yeah, it's kind of a duck. I'm bad at this. And again, if you see somebody has already put up a sticky note that says pretty much what you were hoping to say, you don't have to put yours up. There's no special trophy for duplicates. Ultimately, I'll need to sort this board out later, and if I see duplicates, I'll probably move them off to the side. So if you see something that pretty much represents what you're thinking, that's cool. You don't need to put in a second one. And great that people are also adding to what the schools and programs need. And then, of course, if you scroll down the page, which you can do by dragging or use This thing over here on the right where you can slide the map around. Don't forget, we're also thinking about what companies and employers need and what our profession needs. I think Louis might have some ideas about what our profession needs, and Plexus too. I know these people are passionate about that. And great, we've got Louis posting something for companies. I should have worn my sports announcer headset today so it could look like I'm announcing a sporting event here. I appreciate you guys using the color coding. So again, for those of you joining late, yellow for guesses and assumptions and hypotheses, blue for it happened to me, and black for it didn't happen to me, but I've spoken to enough people to know it's true for them. So the yellow is like, I think this is true, but we should probably do more research to find out. So there's about 2 minutes left, but wow, you know, if you guys need more time, I'll give it to you. Or again, we can move to the next part of the board, and you can always come back and add more to this part of the board if you'd like. I will zoom in and start reading out some of these. Okay, so need to understand and have practical experience. Be able to follow, initiate a UX process to create simple UX solutions to briefs independently. Learn how to interview users. Fantastic. Priority connection to hiring managers. Good point. Understand how to get appropriate management to meet with you. Pretty similar to the one next to it, but different, so I like that. One-on-one interview training for UX jobs. Okay, so part of your training would even be the interview process. Good, that's like more career coaching. Learn how to ask the questions that expose pain points, gaps, and redundancies. Okay, that's definitely, when I'm sorting out the board, that's a cousin of interviewing. Students need real-time experience with research and handling data. Yeah, I mean, that's an assumption, but we could certainly validate that, and it does sound very possible. Need to learn psychology and practices, for sure. Know that it's not always about design, but also business rules and decisions. That is true. We do have other people at these companies that we need to work with. Choose appropriate UX process for a particular project. Okay, being strategic. As a fresher, was lost with whom to connect in the industry and how and where to look for the job. Okay, a little bit of a cousin of the hiring manager one, but you're talking about networking, so that's great. Be able to evaluate different solutions and express their weaknesses, strengths, and feasibility. Okay, so kind of a better eye for auditing a current experience and seeing what could be right or wrong with it and why. Training on product development. Oh, that's time up. So you guys can keep going while I read these out. Training on product development lifecycle frameworks and how to partner with product management and engineering. Yes, that I would couple that with, it's not always about design, but also business stuff. Based on my own research education, to start with, just be able to observe research sessions, to take notes, to code recordings. Okay, right. So lots about how to do really proper UX research. And super. Help defining transferable skills and applied research for appealing resumes. Super. More of that career coaching, and is anything I used to do transferable into UX? We've got a few more. So I'm just going to read the board out so people can hear all of these needs, and then we're going to move to the next part of the exercise. A thorough understanding of the differences between a researcher and designer and be able to specialize. Struggle with portfolio, what to put in, why to put it in. Need for practical skills rather than depending upon cool vocabulary. Hi Syed, we're done with needs and tasks. So just look at the top of the board and you'll see there is color coding you need to know about. If this is a guess, it's yellow. If it happened to you, it's blue. And if it didn't happen to you, but you've spoken to other people and you know it's true for them, it's black. So that's our color coding. Being able to provide non-preferential rationale for design decisions. Okay, so unbiased interpretation of things and decisions. I like that. Articulating business side impact absolutely goes with this one over here. Standardization and professionalism in the industry. Wow, that's what the student needs. Yeah, that's true. You're probably looking at all of us fighting and going, what's going on here? Skills over certification. Yup. 10 days of training can only teach you vocabulary, not constructs or skills. Yes, I call that you learn building blocks, but not science and technique. That's based on my model of CX proficiency phases, which was, I think, podcast number 56. Some countries, like South Africa, don't have well-founded university degrees in UX, HCI, human factors fields. The bubble grows. Demand-supply ratio is skewed. Quality is poor. I got bad news for you. Quality is poor, unfortunately, everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of uncool things. Someone was working on this? No? I'm going to erase it. It's a blank note. This is a blank note also. Somebody working on this? No one wants to claim it? Okay. Okay. What do schools need? Personal affordability for tuition, no income share agreements. Okay, that's technically what you need from the school, but that's okay. Okay, this sounds like this is what students need from schools, but that's okay. I was trying to look at it from what schools need for themselves, but this is all still great. Connection to mentors as project collaborators for real-world experience. Technical training for students switching from non-tech careers. Okay, that's really interesting. Research work, practical experience, and data handling training in the real-world scenario. Teach students how to decipher job listings for their experience level. Understanding of common business practices that sometimes go hand in hand with UX, like Agile, Sprint, Scrum, and Lean. Oh, you guys know I'm on about that. Go check my podcasts in deltacx.tv is the YouTube channel. Go to the playlist that says live podcasts, and you'll see lots of information on those. How to deal with group conflicts working on projects. Yeah, that's some of that soft skills stuff, and that sometimes is left out. Someone erased my words. What happened? That's not what this said. This didn't say standardized job descriptions. Oh no, hello, Rabbit, Plexus. You didn't make a sticky note. You're typing in my box. Plexus. Is this Plexus or somebody else? Sorry, it's not Plexus. I can't see who it is because the box is so big. Somebody replaced the name of my box. So thank you. You pressed undo. Please make a sticky note for that. Thanks, Turtle. Okay, so what do companies need? It's not you. Sorry, Plexus. I thought it was you because I saw the rabbit typing. I apologize. I misread the board. My fault. Companies want to have UX practitioners that are trained in a scientific method. I agree. Companies want the ability to analyze their risk. We sure hope they do. Companies want better or more accurate job descriptions for entry-level jobs. I hope they do. UXers that haven't consumed the Kool-Aid, the poison of lean, agile, design thinking, design sprints. Yeah, I could see how some companies would want that. And Plexus is working on something that says something like people whose priority is UX work and not something else. Understanding of competencies, maturity, and therefore skill levels. Yeah, again, I'm talking about, let me slide that one out for Deb's greatest hits. So for those of you who didn't see episode, I think it was 56, I talked about my model for building blocks, science and technique, and strategy. These are your phases of proficiency. And I'm sure that's very important to companies. Oh, work and not money. Okay. Standardized job descriptions. Okay. And finally, what does our profession need? Traditional UX versus nouveau UX. Freedom to use the best tool for the UX work at hand. Wow, I agree. How often have we been told no? Thank you. Thank you, Beto. Sorry. Thank you, Sea Turtle Beto. Freedom to use the best tool for the work at hand. I like that. Understanding statistics and analytics, understanding data, and developing hypotheses. Yeah, that's really interesting. Mixed method researcher, yeah. Beto's on something else. No more pop UX. Okay, great. And guys, you are welcome to keep sneaking over to this part of the board and adding more if you'd like to talk about more needs that each of these groups have. Again, based on your experiences, what you've heard from others, or just your yellow guesses. But in the interest of time and knowing that we're like half over here, I'm going to move us over to problems. What are the problems and frustrations and obstacles to people getting a great education? Let's use our color-coded stuff to put something over here on this side of the board. So everybody shift to the right, just if you slide to the right, you will find problems, frustration, and obstacles. What is standing in the way for each of these groups for there to be better education? What are the frustrations and obstacles for students? What are the frustrations and obstacles for schools? So again, this is probably different than needs. This is what's standing in the way, or the brick walls we're hitting now. So hello, B. So again, think about, I'll slide some of these back into place. There we go. So again, what are the problems, frustrations, and obstacles that each of these groups is seeing? I'm going to give everybody 10 minutes, and then we'll go. So you can see how we're going to run an hour today, or a little bit more, but I'll do my best to keep this flowing efficiently, because you can see we could spend hours on this. And let's see, we've got 11 people joining us right now, and in the live stream we've got 12 people in YouTube and 6 on LinkedIn, which of course is very different than the 100 that RSVP'd to join this event. So, you know, don't ever go by the RSVP for anything, my friends. Oh, where's my slippery, let's get that out there. Could you share the mural? Yes, Amber, it should be at the bottom of the screen right under me. deltacx.link/mural should redirect you here, because you can see the mural URLs are pretty long and ugly. And right now we're working on problems, frustrations, and obstacles from the perspectives of each of the 4 groups. And make sure you use the color coding, where we're looking at blue if it happened to you, yellow if it's really just a guess or an assumption you have and we would need more research to know if it's true, and black if it's not true for you but you've spoken to other people and you know it's true for them. And that way we can learn a little bit more about what we kind of know and what we should dig a little bit more on. Hello, sea turtle. And visiting rhino. I was really hoping we were going to get like 100 people here. Everybody, what happened? But I'm still so happy that there's 11 or 14 or so of you joining now, and you guys have put up so much stuff. I'm very impressed, so thank you for joining. If you know someone who wants to share in this, please ping them and tell them to join in. And again, if you have time, you can always fill out stuff in the needs and tasks as well. I would say don't move forward, but if you are out of ideas here, you can always move back and do more needs. So we'll give you about 7 more minutes to put these out, and then I'll read through quickly, and then we'll move to the next part, because again, I'm trying to not go past, you know what, on my clock is 7:30, but I know we might be. Welcome, Amber. And again, over in the YouTube universe, please do subscribe to the Delta CX YouTube channel. It's the best way for you to show me that you support what I'm doing, and of course telling friends as well, because I do not ask you to pay me for things. So please support what I'm doing by subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you know when I am live and you can join in. Because I go live about 3 times a week, not necessarily with mural boards, but with interactive content. Lion King is visiting Rhino. I like that. Someone has a really big screen. Maybe it's elephant. I don't know. And when we've got a few minutes left, you guys are welcome to continue adding things. I will start reading them just for the efficiency of the exercise. But as you're putting the problems, frustrations, and obstacles down, also think back to the needs that we were just talking about and think about what could be blocking those needs and when are those needs blocked or not happening. Where are we breaking promises to people? Where are things going wrong? Okay, I look better as a person, not as a forehead. Thank you again, Bill. I'm just going to stay kind of quiet, guys. I hope that's okay. Darren is visiting Bear. Our UX Grizzly. Or Papa Bear. In a good way. Not in a discredited TV guy way. So Darren and some of the people might be joining late. We've got color coding here. Yellow is a guess, assumption, or hypothesis. Blue is this happened to me or this is my experience, so I know it is true because it is my experience. And black is it's not my experience, but I have spoken to people and I know it's real because it's their real experience. So I'm just trying to make sure we separate out the differences between people's real experiences, things they heard from other people, and things they're just kind of guessing at or wondering at or assuming. Because it's okay to make guesses and assumptions here in this board. We just want to mark them as such so that we know that they may need a little bit more research and digging. Okay, we've got 3 minutes left, so I'm going to start reading these out loud just to try to save us a little bit of time, because then we'll move on to the next step. So let's see what some of the problems, frustrations, and obstacles are for students and grads. The varying levels of competency within a class means that classes go slow to ensure everyone is at the same level, means that classes are unable to go deep into a specific problem. Ooh, interesting. Okay, get compartmentalization or okay, interesting. Design schools that are not accredited, universities have appropriate standards. Design schools that are not accredited, universities / have appropriate standards. Okay, I think I know what you're saying there, but it's a little weird. Can I figure out who wrote that? Okay, thanks, Turtle. And Rhino is on this one too somehow. Not able to identify or connect with an industry mentor. Okay, great. We'll join our podcast on the 23rd, where we're going to talk about how to choose a mentor. Maybe that'll give you some ideas. Disregard for those that didn't learn UX in a school, which can cause things like age discrimination. Okay, I definitely don't want I don't want school or not school being held against you. Teachers not being able to go into depth because of time restraints. Okay, so we've got time restraints and different class needs slowing teachers down. Not knowing UX design basics, unable to give effective design recommendation. Okay, so this, if I'm understanding this, and let's see who wrote this one, C. Elephant, sounds like some of the schools or the education aren't even that great at the basics, and so they're not giving good leadership. Darren, I think to delete, you click away from your note, click back on your note, and hit delete on your keyboard. Not enough follow-up on career networking. Okay, UX old farts that tell new grad what they learned is all wrong. Yep, that would be me. I am that old fart that says what you learned is all wrong, because in many cases it was. See previous model on building blocks versus science and technique. So much information on the interwebs with varying degrees of rightness, not sure who to go to. Yeah, and we also find that a lot of UX newbies are writing articles and trying to sound like they're experts and leaders. And you might read that and think, well, that's how UX is done. But it turns out it was written by someone who just guessed at it. So that's tough. You don't even know what information is good. MOOCs. Good to have, but makes everybody an expert, okay? Too many students looking for a quick buck and not positively representing the school or the course. Okay, schools are very expensive, for sure. This one I'm gonna have to zoom in on, but we'll get there. The challenge to reconcile commercial viability and profit and learning needs and methodology, teaching at the right pace, at a longer stretch, 1 to 3 years, and with more self-study resources might not attract as many students and become expensive to maintain. From my experience, the longer the course, the more difficult it is to make the last stages of the course commercially viable and profit savvy. Is that from Louis? Yes, how did I know? Good points, Louis, you know it. No barriers to entry. Okay, I think people are talking about how schools accept pretty much everybody. Poor instructional design. Yep, school programs are sometimes poorly designed. No learning experiences. Learning is largely traditional. Design by nature is not a passive activity. Okay. Too many students in one cohort, hard to get meaningful one-on-one mentoring. Okay, and I love seeing all these blues because I know it happened to you and you know it's true and you're not guessing at this, though guesses are welcome here. One-stop resource for senior collaborators for eventually developing portfolio case studies. Okay, sounds like the school's not helping enough with portfolios. Failure to cover key topics. Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's what I hear as well. Using examples that are outdated. I haven't heard about that yet, but that's really interesting. I'd love to hear more from that person who is Lion King. Lion King masquerading as Rhino. And honestly, I don't know who you are. Companies, problems, frustrations, obstacles, battle with standardized job descriptions, roles, experiences, salary. Yeah, we don't even know what any of our titles are. See previous podcast on UX titles. Hard to qualify a person's skills through an interview, test, or portfolio. Yeah, it shouldn't be. I mean, me and the other old farts can tell. I don't know why companies can't. Managing know-it-alls who don't know very much. Ouch. Gotta see who said that. Plexus. I call this the bubble. Yesterday one was a UI designer, today one is a UX designer because one simply changed the title, and even worse, you're a UI UX designer. Sorry for my mini vent here, it's demand in the industry. That sounds plexusy to me. Oh, it's Sea Turtle. You got me, Sea Turtle. You got me. Seniors are too overloaded with the actual work. That is too much of a risk to take the time to teach a junior. Absolutely. I do hear from a lot of people, this would have been a black-colored note from me, I hear from a lot of people that they go into a job and they expect that seniors and leads will mentor them, and then it turns out those people were not allocated at all to them. There's a lack of senior designers that are technically, vis-a-vis management, strong and scientifically grounded. Ouch. Yeah, well, I think that's what happens when we have not that great juniors working their way up to seniors. You might still be not that great. I have met senior imposters. So unfortunately, it's not a given that just because you're a senior or you've done this for a while, that you're that good. Or, as you say, technically strong or scientifically grounded. Lots of entry-level job descriptions have little to no understanding of UX, not sure they know what they're asking for when hiring. Very true. First roles to cut seem to be research. Agree. Notice how what happened to R&D? Remember when every company invested in R&D? Where did R&D go? You know, we used to live on that. Now it's disappeared. Students who learn in quick courses, having to realize UX expertise is a long haul, decades of work required to be an expert. Yeah, maybe not decades, but definitely a handful of years until I would say you're an expert. So, god-awful maturity levels, so true. Displacement of seniors, biased against portfolios full of class projects, wants real projects. Yeah, I'm not biased against class projects, but I'm definitely not happy with team projects when I'm trying to figure out what you can do. It's like listening to the school choir and saying, don't you think I'm a great singer? Eek, I can't hear you in there. Inability to understand portfolios. Okay, I'll keep reading through these and then we'll start again. This is going to run late. I hope you guys will stick around. Differentiate full-time opportunities from contract. Okay, devalued research, which recruiters are known to be UX savvy. Hiring managers don't understand. Different skill misrepresented. Fake it till you make it mentality. That's bad. And Dunning-Krugeritis, where you guys obviously were both there. All right, let's move on. Please. Oh, sorry. Where I'm going to drag us down to the bottom left of the board. So won't you join me on the bottom left? And what we're going to look at now is, can you think of other industries that you feel like are kind of getting this right or doing this better? And for example, I sometimes say hairdressing school. Hairdressing school is hard to get into, or at least compared to UX school. It takes a year or more. The tests are really difficult. They're really watching your haircutting skills every step of the way and making sure you really know how to cut hair. And then not everybody passes the tests and graduates. I feel influenced by hairdressing school and by plumbing school. So can you think about other industries, whether that's developers or even outside of tech completely, like hairdressing? Can you think about ways that we could be inspired when you see good education or good apprenticeships or good teaching methods that are happening in other industries? Law school. Law school is hard. You sing it, Sea Turtle. Yeah, and law is heavily standardized. Nobody gets out and says, I'm a civil lawyer, and then someone goes, what's that? Well, at least no one in your own industry. So law, I do talk about law also. I say, you know, our work is so weird that people don't know what we do, but nobody says, like, a lawyer. What does a lawyer do? You know, it's like, okay, you may not know everything, but you generally know what a lawyer does. So yeah, let's see what, you know, where can students be influenced by other industries? Where could schools be influenced by other industries? What about companies? What about our profession? So, you know, wherever you put these, I can always move them around later. Nehal loves senior imposters. I do not love them, Nehal. I had once worked with a guy who was a total imposter. Every time someone gave him work, he would call a team meeting to brainstorm his project. He could never seem to do the project himself. And then I ran into him a few years later speaking on a panel, and he was one of the other speakers. And I will never forget how he introduced himself, but I won't say his name. He said, "Hello, I'm so-and-so, and I'm a UX." Okay. It's not usually we use the Mural board for comedy. Today it's serious. Oops, I forgot to set a timer. So let's make this one a little shorter. Let's do 4 more minutes. And again, we are going to run over time. I hope you guys can give me a little more time, because what's going to come next is ideas. What are our ideas for the future of education? So let's just spend a few more minutes on things we can learn from other industries, and then let's jump into, yeah, exactly, Nehal. He is an experience. Ooh, he sure was. He was extremely memorable, or as I like to say, memorable in a bad way. And thanks again to the people who've joined, even if you had to leave and joined again. We've got 14 people here. It's a great active group. Thanks so much for these. Again, if you have feedback about this, just shoot me a message through YouTube or through LinkedIn, or email me, deb@deltacx.com. If you have positive or negative feedback about an exercise like this and how it could be better, because this is the first serious mural board I've done with you guys in a live stream. Previously, we did comedy mural boards. We did a fake job description and a fake Lean UX canvas, and those were ridiculous. So we've got a couple of minutes left. Anybody learning anything from industries? Okay, I don't see too much typing here, so I'll probably just stop the timer and give people a few more seconds, and then we'll move on to the last thing, because obviously that's where you guys are going to want the most time. So remember, for the last part, and you can still fill out the other industries, you can still fill out other parts of the board if you'd like, because I'm going to look at this over the weekend and sort it out, and I'll post on LinkedIn with my final findings. I can't post to YouTube because I can't do that until I have 1,000 subscribers. So hint, hint, please subscribe. So remember, take into consideration the needs we talked about, not just your needs, but if you listened when I read things out to other people's needs, think about some of the frustrations and obstacles. Think about what we might be influenced by in other industries. And now let's head over to the last part of the board, which is ideas. And these are ideas for each of these different groups. So what are ideas for students? What are ideas for the schools themselves? What are ideas for the companies or employers where we work or would want to work? And what are ideas for the CX or UX profession, practice, or industry as a whole? And again, all ideas welcome. No ideas are stupid. No ideas will be debated or picked on. I just want to know what you are all thinking. So feel free to bring in your ideas, and you can use the color coding if it's relevant. So yeah, go for it. Start to fill in the ideas, and let's do 10 minutes, even though I know that makes us run late. Hopefully some of you are not too pressed at work today or in working from home. You can sneak a few extra minutes and help us out with ideas. What are some possible future ideas that could improve education, and just, you know, match them to the box? What could improve education for students? What could improve it for schools? What could improve it for the employers who end up hiring these people? And what could improve it for our industry as a whole? And again, I am here live. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to take the thing off the well, if I take it off, then I'll be floating in space. But I'll take it off so I'm floating in space. Where did it go? Here it is. Boom. Now I'm floating in space. I'll fix that. There we go. Now I'm anchored to the ground. All right, let's get these ideas up here. Ideas for schools, ideas for students, ideas for companies. What could people do differently? And I'm not too hung up on the color coding here, because this isn't what happened to you. This is just ideas, and all ideas need further research, need further development, need further testing. All ideas. So that's why sometimes when people want to pick a fight with me on LinkedIn and they say, well, what are your solutions? I say, I'm not going to call anything a solution until I try an idea and test it, because it probably needs to be iterated upon and improved before I decide I have a solution. For now, I have ideas. Okay, so we have some ideas coming in, and about 7.5 minutes left, and then of course I'll read the ideas out and we'll wrap up for this adventure. But I hope you guys will get these ideas here. This board will be available, so you know, you can come back later and add more if you'd like. We still have 13 people, thanks to you guys who've stayed all the way through, or even if you joined late. I can't believe we have 2 rams. Did they really run out of animals? They only have 12 animals? Gotta write. Where's dog and cat? Where's spider? Crab. These are other times we've done this. We've seen penguin, spider, crab. Yeah, I don't know how we ended up with 2 rams, but Can you guys pick animals? Is that what this is? I've never come in as a visitor, so I don't know if you can pick animals. So everybody likes rams, I guess. Great. Keep the ideas coming, everybody. Thanks again for this. And if you're not sure about too many ideas, slide back up the board, back over to needs and problems, and see if looking again at needs and problems that other people posted spark an idea for you. You know, you're not just here to solve your own problems. We're here to solve as many problems for as many people as possible, though again, it's not a solution until it's tested, but hopefully come up with ideas. So again, feel free to slide up to the top of the board and take a look at needs and problems and brainstorm how we could improve that. Whew. LinkedIn is always minutes behind. It's creepy. Oh, my timer died. All right. That's weird. Didn't I have a timer? All right, well, we'll go, say, 5 more minutes so people can get their ideas out. And, And again, if anybody has any feedback on this experience, being part of it or watching it, you are welcome to put that into the chat. I'm not shy, and I'm always open to feedback or criticism. If you want to put it out there publicly, that's totally fine, or you can send it to me privately. But I always welcome that. However you want to give it to me. Free UX conferences. We have some very cost-minded people. You know what I'm really influenced by, everybody? Disney Imagineering. If you're not familiar with Disney Imagineering, if you have Disney Plus, obviously watch the Imagineering story. I would say I'm possibly most influenced by Disney Imagineering. And I know they do a lot of cool, interesting things to get people involved or dreaming of being an Imagineer. And, but, of course, they're extremely picky about who can be an Imagineer. And we should be too. Visiting Rhino, you have a blank card over here. Are you still with us? Yes. Hey, welcome back. Visiting Rhino. Darren, I think, is going to steal your card. Darren, make your own card. Oh, I'm so sleepy, guys. Sorry about that. Oh. Well, we've got a few more minutes, and you can keep adding things. I'm going to zoom in and start reading some of these ideas. All right. So, ideas for students. Be open to talk to people about some of your needs and ask for help. Yeah, and I would say especially outside of the school. Sometimes the school really just wants to be a cheerleader and isn't always giving people as much help as they could. So start doing more talking outside of your school or program. Strengthen your networking skills. Yeah, you know, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and especially networking in the age of lockdowns is a little bit different. So that's something that I'm thinking about turning into a podcast. Create projects and solutions for things that interest you and present those in your portfolio. You can. I also recommend that people do that with a mentor or a coach, and that way you're sure that those projects come out looking strong. Sometimes I see people doing made-up projects or a hackathon, and they don't realize that the way that they've done the project and presented it still doesn't really sell them very well. So I would say do all the projects that you want, but it's really important to get a mentor or coach, probably outside of school or program, to look over your work and make sure it looks strong to a potential employer. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. People skill, ability to understand business needs, user needs, and design feasibility simultaneously. It really is a juggling act. You're right. Hey, who is that? That's a good one. I mean, they're all good, but I really... Elephant, you're awesome. You've had some really good ones today. Find books and resources that interest you and dig deeper. Yeah, always dig deeper. Connect with fellow designers and talk more. Yes, especially people senior to you. I recommend that you don't look at us as old farts. We've been through a lot and we know a lot. Please turn to us in a positive way. If you call us old farts, that not totally endearing, not inspiring. Launch grad showcases to share with prospective employers. Yeah, I thought they were doing that. The schools don't do that? Boo. Seek ways to practice presentation, public speaking skills. Yeah, great idea. I always tell people, sing at karaoke night, and you will get better at public speaking pretty fast. Oh, who did this? This has to be Plexus. Yeah. School programs and ideas. Establish viable external free learning resources to build discipline and brand. Yeah, you know, we can't guarantee that they'll be free, but it sounds like we need more discipline building. Pair students with UX mentors currently in the field. Absolutely. I think a lot of programs are saying, well, here's our internal mentor, but they're not telling you, here's Debbie, here's Darren, here's Louie, here's Plexus. More schools holding UX conferences, free UX conferences. You want pros out to these things. If you want pros out to these things, then pay your speakers. Teach UX as part of a joint comp-sci psych stream and not as a design program. I think that's a good idea. It's an interesting idea, and it is from Plexus. So that's a neat one. Partner with companies to create internships for real experiences. Yeah, that's from Kat. Kat, for sure. I think there should be a lot more internships and apprenticeships. Rhino is working on one. Help students with some sort of coaching to help our foot in the door and keep momentum going after class. Good one. Ideas for companies. Ooh, lots of them. Whoa, you guys. Tested, globally shared best practices on design recruitment. Ooh, it's funny. I almost worked on a project like that this year, and then they decided to ghost me. But I do believe that needs to be done. I think somebody needs to put together best practices on what different titles mean and what job descriptions should look like, and then how you correctly utilize that person in the company, that they're not order takers, boop, bop, beep. Maybe we can work on that. Who wants to work with me on that? Who said that? I will. Sea Turtle. That's it. You and me. We're on it. Who's Sea Turtle again? Was that you, Beto? We're on it. Always have a UX intranet site. Oh, interesting. Formal mentorship opportunities. Okay, yes. Guidance on how to build a true design mindset and culture. That's what sustains it. Okay. We probably need more strategy to that, but yes, in general. Engage in formal... Oh, it's me. Hi, now. Okay, got it. Engage in formal education for recruiters to ensure quality hiring practices. Yes, that's a cousin of the first one. So this is really important. Maybe we can rope Lee Andrese into this. Well, I say that her name Italianly. Lee Andres. Where is she? She's not here. We'll ping her later. Create a professional org that establishes and provides standards to schools. Yeah, Don Norman said he was going to do that, but I don't know if he's still doing that or when it'll be ready. And the problem with that, because it's a great idea, and I've been thinking about it for months, but the problem is, who is that org, and what if they come up with bullshit, if I may say that? What if they come up with crap? You know, what if they come up with everyone should be a unicorn and we'll judge you by your unicornness? And then I'm like, who crowned these people king? So I feel like that does have to be done, but then by whom? And then are other people going to fight it? So that's hard, but it should be done. Work with UX teams to create well-structured intern programs. Yep. Employee education. Having a research repository. Yes. Rhino says being open to hire with more people with worldly and diverse experiences in design and other fields that feed back or flood back into UX. I see where you're going with that. That is cool. And then what about for us, for our profession and industry? A regulated, insightful community with vetted resources. Yeah, if only. Who said that? Sea turtle! Do we have two sea turtles? Sea turtle? No, we have one sea turtle. Sea turtle. More education for practitioners to understand the full experience landscape. Okay, good. Need to move from CX versus UX versus SD versus other experience disciplines to we all have the same intent. It's a travesty they don't talk to each other with so much in common. I'm going to guess that's Louis. Oh, sea turtle. Sea turtle, you're killing it today. To crowdsource more as a principle. Who put that one up? Sea turtle again? Yeah, I generally don't agree with that, but I think it's still something worth researching and thinking more about, depending upon what that means. So, yes, let's run with that idea and see what we can make happen with it. Educate company folks regarding UX and CX, share video snippets, interesting user research session on Slack channels. Yeah, I think it's always a bit of a problem to try to figure out between, we don't want to be evangelists because people hate evangelists. See my other talk on Stop Evangelizing UX. But we do want to get information out about what we're doing and why and how we do it to educate them and hopefully get them excited about working with us. So we have to find balance there, and it's hard. I want to know more about crowdsourcing. Sea Turtle, if you don't mind, can you tell me more about what you would crowdsource or how you would crowdsource it? Because maybe we have different definitions or same definitions, but I'd love to know more so that we can really dig into that idea. Sea Turtle. We got more stuff here. Persona repositories. Hold events where grads interact with alumni. I can see the pros and cons of that, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, lots of really interesting ideas here. Oh, excuse me. Crowdsource just as you're doing now. Yeah, you know, okay, great. Then we're a little more on the same page than I thought at first. I do sessions like this at some jobs where I work at. I do ideation and brainstorming sessions. I usually don't have people sketching the solution or the idea because I feel like that goes a little too far for reasons I go into in the podcast about collaboration. But I do like to use Mural just to get other people's ideas and perspectives, because you never know who has the best idea. And that's why I said, if you guys want, you can always come over here to the top right and you can tell me who the heck you were, so that this isn't anonymous. But if you want to be anonymous, you can too. So you can put that over here. Who the heck were you? But I know we're running late today. Thank you so much for staying as long as you did. We probably should wind down. You know, this board is out there and available and public. The URL might not always point here. If I do another mural in the future, chances are my deltacx.link/mural will point to something else. So if you really loved this, you know, grab the URL at the top, which is this long ridiculous thing, and copy it, because I'm not going to erase this board. And I'm not going to ask people to vote because it wasn't really about who had our favorite idea. You know, these are all good ideas and are all worth looking into more and exploring. And my dog says hi. Oh, you're so warm and cuddly. yeah, this is great. Let me go back and just come back to a giant picture of me. Hey, so quick winding down with things. How was that? Comment. I'm watching the LinkedIn and the YouTube chat. How was that? What can we do with that? You know, where can we go with these ideas? I just say share them with everybody who will listen. There's some great ideas there about trying to form a group or a committee that might want to come up with a kit that could be given to companies for recruiters. If you really want to work on that, then contact me privately. I'm happy to spin something up in my Delta CX Slack channel, and let's start building something there. Or somewhere else, Mural board or shared Google Doc. Let's create something that we can put out there, but I think it's going to take kind of a committee of people with different experience to come together and say, this is what these things should be. This is what a title should be. This is what the job description is. Here's how you hire. Here's when you do a job challenge. Here's when you don't do a challenge or give people homework. I love the idea of some of us getting together, you know, outside of the streams, outside of the board. So contact me, contact me privately if you are interested in that. I'll throw my email address up on the screen if you want to shoot an email, or if we're connected on LinkedIn, feel free to send me a private message, and let's see who's interested in getting together and doing this. So I'm deb@deltacx.com. And let me know, maybe that's the first good thing for us to do, because it would really help the present and the future. If we can start creating better jobs, better job descriptions, better company understanding of what we're coming in there to do, this would be great. This would really be something beautiful that could set the future up in a nice way. Sorry, my microphone wasn't hanging right. It was probably quiet. Now I can see it's a little louder. Hope that's not bothering you guys. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this more offline and see who's willing to give a little bit of time. And we'll set up a shared doc or something for people who are interested, and let's pursue it. So even if you're watching this recording later and you made it this far, thank you. And if you're curious and interested too and want to help out with that, let me know, and let's build something together. I'm up for it. Because I was going to do that earlier this year for an education company, and then they ghosted me. So let's do it ourselves. Shawnee is here. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Very insightful. Some really cool ideas. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for everybody who's coming. And again, I've got to laugh a little bit because we had 100 RSVPs on LinkedIn, and then we had 14 people actually in the Mural room. So I just have to, I was very excited that 100 people were going to show up. Y'all didn't show up. Come on. But I know people are busy. It's the work day. So thank you for giving me some of your time. I'll wind down. It's Wednesday. I'll be back streaming live on Monday. I hope to see everybody then. And if there's anything I can do for you between now and then, you can always find me in our Slack workspace, the Delta CX Slack workspace, which you can join through deltacx.link/join Slack. That could be that's another great place for us to get together and talk about this standardizing kit for recruiters. We could make a channel for it there. So yeah, come on, let's do it. Sea Turtle was a highlight. Yes. Darren says that always happens when there's an out. What always happens, Darren? Darren has to stop using the word that, because I always see his comments minutes later and I don't know what he's referring to. Kat says this was fun. Good, Kat. I'm glad you liked it. You did a great job. Yeah. Everybody, subscribe, find me on Slack, reach out, let me know if you'd like to work maybe on a kit for recruiters. I think that would be a wonderful thing that we could put out there, and of course use this channel and other ways to get the word out there, and some recruiters that we know. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. I'm going to wind down. Thanks again to everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Stay home, probably. And hopefully I'll see everybody next week in one or more of our streams. Have a great day into your weekend.
Thanks for watching. Delta CX is available for consulting and projects related to CX and UX strategy, leadership, training, problem finding, problem solving, and innovation. Learn more at deltacx.com.